Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Racing League. Sorry for the technical difficulties getting things started up, but tonight's race is going to be a very fun one here from the iRacing Superspeedway. The iRacing Superspeedway 270, race number 14 of 25, and drivers trying to set themselves up to make their way into the playoffs. With only a handful of races remaining this regular season, drivers going to have to try and find their way in and point their way in. You cannot advance by wins alone in this series, so going to have to figure out how to gain the ground and get up into the top 12 before they head into the first race of the playoffs here in a few weeks. Tonight's race is going to be 90 laps around this 3-mile super speedway, one of the craziest racetracks if you have not experienced it. This super high banked super speedway, about I don't know, 6-7 lanes wide, and a fantasy track based on the old Coca-Cola or the old NASCAR Racing 2003 super speedway. A very interesting track, but runs a lot like any of the other super speedways like Daytona, Talladega, even the Monza Oval. It's flat out, and drivers will hit in excess of 240 miles an hour around this track. You can expect some chaos and calamity, and you're going to need a good drafting partner out there to get yourself into position to win this race. Let's take a look at the qualifying times as they make their way around. I know in the draft, they were lapping in the 44-second range. And right now, looking at the 30 of Jeremy Miller as he makes his way around 230 miles an hour. And it doesn't look like it on screen, but this is the perspective from the roof cam. He is going to run the higher lane here on lap number 1 to try and get the most momentum and scrub off the least amount of speed on lap number 2. So kind of a sacrificial lap. Across the start-finish line at around 230 miles an hour. And he'll dive into turn number 1 at 232 miles an hour and hugs that yellow line. That is a thing of beauty right there. Look at these cars, so stable. As Yusuf Ghali also, look at him dive down in the corner. And the track is so wide that it just barely fits on our camera. This is going to be a lot of fun to watch. Only broadcast one other race from this speedway in the past on V-Speed, and that was the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. That was actually their all-star race, and it was in Indy cars, which handled pretty well around here as well, but the stock car is also pretty good. Jeremy Miller currently the pole sitter with a 46.22. Yusuf Ghali not able to top that. He'll go to third position. Let's take a look at Adam Cabot, who was last week's winner. He has not put a time in yet. And we'll see if he even gets the opportunity to, or if he's going to start from the back. Jeff Wright also on pit lane, just sitting there. Mark Emerson up to speed. Like he is working down the back straightaway on his first hot lap. Well, let's take a look at the points coming into tonight's race and see where your favorite drivers stack up and who is moving on to the playoffs no matter what and who is fighting to get in. You can see the top 3 drivers all locked in based on points alone. That is AJ Stravato, Connor Horn, and Alec Martinez. They'll be fighting amongst themselves to win the regular season championship, but they are all advancing to the playoffs. Regardless of what happens here over the next few weeks, they are all going to be in as long as they make at least one start. And then you've got a few other drivers pretty well out and comfortable, and they'll most likely be advancing, being Dylan Parker, Adam Cabot. You've got Keith Mayotte, Safe Ferris, Jeff Wright. Some of those drivers not quite as comfortable as they may need to be, but all in pretty good standing. Even Yusuf Ghali, 76 points up, should be in pretty good shape, assuming no major issues over the next handful of weeks. Mark Emerson really is where the battle gets a bit tighter, up 28 points from the cut line. Then Angelo Ronis only 7 up, and Greg Wellen, the last one in, just 3 points up over Elliott Butler. Race winner Eric Hutton, he's on the outside looking in. Even with that race win, like we said, you do not advance automatically, so it will be a bit of work for Eric to try and move on. He got his win at the Talladega Superspeedway earlier this season. But I don't think I see Eric out here tonight, so he's going to have an even deeper hole to dig out of, and some of these drivers behind him might be able to take advantage. But we are moving on to the starting grid. Let's see where your favorite drivers are starting here tonight. Cheer them on, let us know you're out there, and we'll try and keep up with them throughout tonight's race. Going to be a fun one. And Jeremy Miller going to be sitting on the pole for tonight's event. The number 30 machine with a 46.224, a great lap time. He tops Zach Halpern, who's going to be rolling off from row number 1. Zach looking to climb into the top 12 in the standings. And he's got a ways to go, but tonight could be a good turning point, and he might be able to build some momentum headed towards the playoffs. Starting in row number 2, Garrett Kite, the number 8 car. Joe Stafford as well in the 4th position, that 57 car. Yusuf Ghali, last year's champion, rolling off from 5th tonight. Saif Fares, a winner from earlier this season. He'll start 6th. Mark Emerson looking for his first victory of the season. He'll start in 7th. Angelo Ronis rolling off from 8th here tonight. Elliott Butler starting in 9th. And Connor Horn, a 4-time winner. The first of the drivers to not take a lap time. So only 9 drivers qualifying this evening. And then everybody else in just based on the seeding from either standings or practice time. So Alec Martinez, he'll roll off 11th. AJ Stravato starting in 12th. 13th, Adam Cabot, the 2-time winner. Jeff Wright rolling off from 14th. We haven't seen Jeff out here all that much recently, but hopefully he can actually start tonight's race, although I don't know if he's on track. We'll have to see here. Bailey Turner starting 15th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin starting 16th. Greg Wellen starting in 17th. Keith Mayato rolling off from 18th. 19th, Jeremiah Vincent. Rounding out the top 20 is going to be Lyle Sulfridge. And rounding out the field tonight in 21st is Lane Sulfridge. Only 21 drivers in tonight's race. Should be pretty clean, I would think, with the smaller field. But when you're getting up there at speeds 240 miles an hour, you could have some issues running around people. The aerodynamics get pretty tricky at speeds that high. And the cars don't necessarily love to stick, and the tires don't hold up very well. But we'll see how they do from the iRacing Superspeedway tonight. Looking at the track conditions, 115 degrees Fahrenheit. Going to be pretty slick as the tires wear out. And we'll have to see if it's the fronts or the rears on each car that give out first. But they only have to go to lap number 20 for the first stage, and then they'll go to the end from there. Top 8 drivers earning points in stage 1. And then it's a race to the finish. You finish and get points for where you're at. And should be a lot of fun here tonight. I am very excited to see stock cars tackling these high banks at over 240 miles an hour. I think we saw 245 was the fastest in the practice session. And the 30 coming up the track. He's going to pick the outside lane, but right here already a little bit of drama. I don't know what's going on with Jeremy and Zach, but Zach Halpern with damage before we even take the green. Pace car is off, but green flag in the air. We are underway from iRacing Superspeedway for the Virtual Racing League. Jeremy Miller leading them down towards turn number 1. A good single file line already developing. We'll see if the draft package works a little bit better for some of these guys. Now that iRacing has made a few updates, especially to the Camaros, we know that they had some issues with those. And here goes one of them, Garrett Kite. He's going to peek out of line. He'll drop back down. As look at this, bouncing up the racetrack. That is Yusuf Ghali. And we'll see quite a bit of that this evening. Drivers headed into the corner at over 230 miles an hour. You can't really see right there in front of them. Let's go on board here with St. Ferris to see what his perspective is. Come out the roll bar here. That car, I think it even bottoms out, and he had to lift out of the throttle. Now Adam Cabot goes to his inside. He'll take a spot away. Here comes Bailey Turner. He ran so well a few weeks back at Nashville Fairgrounds. Bailey looked like he was maybe going to be on his way to a race win. Things transpired late in the race. Right now looking for a rebound performance as we see Greg Wellen, kind of the last of this lead group of 16. And then they have a real small pack back here with Jeremiah Vincent, Lee Sulfridge, Jeff Wright, Taylor Butcher Benson. Looks like Lyle Sulfridge maybe started from pit lane. And he may be okay in terms of not going lap down, but he'll be right at the tail end when we get that stage caution. Right now, Jeremy Miller leading the way over Garrett Kite, Joe Stafford, Adam Cabot, Mark Emerson in the top 5. Battling back here, it is Bailey Turner side by side. The cars snaking down the front straightaway. Bailey Turner side by side with AJ Stravato, the points leader. One thing I didn't really touch on the early stage of the broadcast is that AJ only has about 18 points, I think, over Connor Horn right now. So we are 3 wide. That is Zach Halpern up the track. I think that nose damage could be affecting that race car. As Zach fading a little bit towards the tail end of this pack, he'll find a spot in line in front of Elliott Butler, but no, 4 wide, and the 6 car blinking badly right there in the middle of all of it. They give room. Oh, and the 21 going to tag Mayato. Keith Mayato around. He's in the outside wall coming down the banking. No caution, as that was Alec Martinez losing control. What happened? He catches... St. Ferris gets tagged, and Alec coming up the track. He just clips Mayato. Keith trying to hang on to it, catches that outside wall. Not too bad, but hard onto the apron, basically like dropping off a cliff. And that is so unfortunate early on for the driver of the 36, who thought his luck had maybe turned around, but then just gets bit once again by some bad luck. Mark Emerson now challenging. He'll move to second, taking that away from Garrett Kite. Adam Cabot, Joe Stafford also up here, and now the front pack a bit fragmented as we've got 9 cars in this grouping. A little ways back is Bailey Turner, who's leading a short line of race cars with Connor Horn involved. But the 24 Bailey Turner with some nose damage that could be affecting him right now, as they have fallen behind by just over a second. And St. Ferris, I think, has a little bit of left side damage. That was really a close call for him. And now battle for the race lead. Mark Emerson trying to take it away using that high groove. The Bose Ford Mustang leading the pack now as they cross the start-finish line. He will lead that lap. The number 22 with help from Garrett Kite, AJ Stravato, Angelo Ronas, and Joe Stafford as that 57 picking a lane. Now drops back down to the inside. And they have broken up just a little bit, but Mark Emerson able to lead that one lap at least, and he's still leading as the field now shifts back to the high side. Here comes AJ Stravato all the way to the apron, and he's going to bring Yusuf Ghali. Look at that. Jeremy Miller goes from the race lead. He'll go back to 8th in the matter of about a lap and a half. And just like that, things change. Adam Cabot out in front. About a car length and a half advantage over Garrett Kite, who's going to get a huge draft. And now going to work down low. 77 throws a block. Where does Garrett move? He's going to stick in line, but Yusuf Ghali is there to his inside. Yusuf doesn't back out of it, but luckily the 8 just clears him. And this is absolutely crazy racing. Also, Keith Mayato was on pit road for over 2 laps and a minute and 20 seconds of damage being repaired right there. I'm not sure they can make it on fuel for stage number 1. We'll have to find out if they will need to make a pit stop. But right now, this secondary group getting bigger and bigger. Look at this, Jeff Wright in the mix. We've got Say Ferris back here, Greg Wellen, Zach Halpern, Bailey Turner, Elliott Butler. And then the 71 of Lane Sulfridge also back here. So this really the main pack right now, other than the leaders. Actually, they're pretty close. I think it's 8 cars in each. And Adam Cabot has a mirror full of Yusuf Ghali, but don't count out Jeremy Miller, who's led all these laps so far. Well, actually, it's only 4 laps that he has led, but it seemed like he was out in front for a good portion. As they are going to put another lap on Keith Mayato, well off the pace. Oh, he's still reaching speeds of about 220 miles an hour now, 3 laps down. Up front, Adam Cabot, he's now led 3 laps. And seems everyone behind him content for the moment to ride in line. But Adam drifts up the racetrack a little bit. And oh, Yusuf Ghali just able to get to the outside. A little bump right there. Thought somebody was going to be going around. But Cabot leads at the line. Here comes Joe Stafford. Does he try and split them? Rather, he'll give a push to the 77. Down into 1 and 2. The car is drifting up the track. Jeremy Miller opening up the door here for Garrett Kite. Mark Emerson and Angelo Ronas, they're all going to slip on past. Jeremy goes to the back of this lead group. And oh boy, Yusuf Ghali blocking Garrett Kite all the way to the apron. Garrett not going to back out of it though. He's going to get up the track right in behind the 54. And they're going to be 3 wide through 3 and 4. Mark Emerson shooting the gap in the middle. Not going to work out for him just yet, but he is still to the outside of Yusuf Ghali. Meanwhile, the second group being headed up by Zach Halpern, who started on the outside of row 1. And about a 5-car breakaway here. Connor Horn, the last of those drivers. Then Jeremiah Vincent pulling Lane Sulford with him. Say Ferris damaged right now. I think it is hurting him. And the 24, Bailey Turner, also affected by the nose damage. Right now, they are about a second off the pace of the race leaders. And Safe trying to get in with his teammate there, Keith Mayato, possibly, or Keith at least going to try and grab their draft. I hope not to go another lap down because he is currently the only driver 1 lap down. And that was a close call for Safe Ferris. Almost hooking off the bumper. Oh, and he did hook off the bumper of the 24, but they were able to keep it straight. And at the front, Angelo Ronas has taken the top spot. We've got a big shakeup now with some of the leaders hitting Yusuf Ghali on pit road. He has a blown engine. Maybe a little too much of a push. Let's see what happened to Yusuf. Oh, we had a car losing it. That was Mark Emerson. Oh, and the 54 downshifted to try and slow up for that, and he blew the motor. The 22 of Mark Emerson. Let's go back to this. He was 90 degrees sideways. That is incredible. Got a huge shot, I think, or maybe tried to make the block. Yeah, tried to make a block going for the lead. Hits the 77 all the way around nearly. As it is getting crazy here in the mid-pack. Zach Halpern leading this group. It's Connor Horn right there behind him, trying to make his way forward. And this is actually now starting to become a battle for the top 5. A battle for stage positions as the top 3, top 2 now out in front. Angelo Ronis and Jeremy Miller, they're all by themselves. 2 seconds in front of Zach Halpern, who's trying to hold all of these guys at bay. There'll be 5 laps to go to the end of the stage. Off the nose of Elliott Butler. See how much those cars speed up the racetrack. And the leaders losing their advantage. The gap now just 1.2 seconds. That time across the line, a whole second faster for Zach Halpern over Angelo Ronis. So that gap going to close up in no time. We'll have a battle for the stage win before we know it. And these two just trying to work together to run as fast as they can, but everybody else figuring they have to do the same thing at this point. And this is not disappointed. Some incidents already in this race. Here comes Zach Halpern. Look at this, trying the slingshot down low. Zach Halpern, who needs the points desperately, going to take the lead away from Angelo Ronis in turn number 1. Has some lap cars out in front of them, being I think that's Alec Martinez and Lyle Sulfridge just on the tail end of the lead lap. With Zach Halpern leading Connor Horn. Connor seemingly coming out of nowhere, but he's given a big push to the 7. Here comes AJ Stravato as well into the mix, trying to limit any points gained from Connor Horn that would affect his potential regular season championship. They'll put Alec Martinez a lap down. Next in line, Lyle Sulfridge, still a couple seconds up the road. Single file for maybe a couple more laps, and they might get crazy on the white flag lap. As the 6 of Elliott Butler drifts up the track, he'll let the 8 and the 57 through. And this lead pack of 9 race cars battling for the top 8 stage positions. And there is the 70 of Lyle Sulfridge. He's going to be a lap down, and he'll have to fight to stay on or in that lucky dog spot. With Alec Martinez potentially able to close in, although Alec really far off the pace. But at the front, Connor Horn peaking high, now peaking low. And not able to make the move just yet. He's maybe going to try and help Zach to get a stage win, but Connor, you know, he really wants those playoff points. He's got a ton of them already. And it will be 1 to go when they get back to the line. Greg Wellen makes a move to the outside of Jeremy Miller, but no drafting help up there for the moment. But here comes Angelo Ronis and Elliott Butler behind him. Maybe they can mount a charge. Nearly an incident right there, though. The 94 kind of threw the block. Here goes Connor. He'll peak high down into turn 1. AJ Stravato going to take advantage of that. He'll work to the inside of Connor. And Zach Halpern going to stick with the Toyota teammate in the high groove, but AJ Stravato mounting a charge here on the final lap of the stage. He'll get to the inside. Now going to go down low even farther. Almost causes a wreck. They stack up a little bit. Joe Stafford, Elliott Butler able to hang on to it, but at the front, Zach Halpern looks like he's going to hang on, but here comes Connor Horn. Can he beat him back to the line? Zach Halpern going to win the stage in a side-by-side battle for second. AJ Stravato gets that spot. And yellow flag flies. What a battle for the stage. Zach Halpern earning much needed playoff points and bonus points. He'll get 8 there. AJ Servato, Connor Horn, Garrett Kite, Jeremy Miller, Angelo Ronas, Greg Wellen, and Joe Stafford, the top 8 earning points in the stage. What a great battle and great run here at the start. We've got 16 of the 21 drivers on the lead lap. Yusuf Ghali has been on pit road for an extended period of time, getting the engine swapped. And at this rate, I don't think he'll be back on the racetrack tonight. Keith Mayato, the only one multiple laps down. Everybody else just 1 lap down if they are off the lead lap. And I'm going to see if we can quickly pull up Zach Halpern before they make their pit stops. I know long pace laps. See if we can pull him up here. Zach Halpern, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Adam?
Hey, not too bad, man. Looking forward to talking to you at some point tonight, but I wasn't sure if you were going to get that stage or not, but you got the stage win, much needed points. How'd you get it done right there?
Thankfully, I had 2 guys who are normally willing to work with me between Connor and AJ there at the end. They're pretty lenient with me when it comes to things like that, and thankfully, I kind of just had things go my way on the last lap because it is pretty easy to pass here if you have a good run. And after falling to the back, people kind of started learning how this track runs, and thankfully, I was able to make my way back front thanks to that wreck that happened, and no caution came out because of it. And kind of just happy I got the stage when I needed those extra points. So great start to the race. We're hoping we can keep it going, obviously.
Yes, sir. Definitely valuable bonus points. Good luck on your pit stop here. Don't want to distract you too much, and good luck rest of the way, Zach.
Thanks, Adam. Talk to you later.
All right. That was Zach Halpern. Used to hearing him on Thursday nights up here in the booth. Now he has become a mainstay in the V-Speed booth, and thankful for his help over the last handful of weeks. Look at this, Connor Horn maybe taking fuel only, and he is going to win the battle off pit road. And he did take 4 tires, just a fantastic pit stop, and Zach Halpern will exit second. Elliott Butler stays on the racetrack. He is the lucky dog, actually, I think. Not exactly sure. Maybe just connection problems showing him as the race leader. Or he is still staying on the racetrack. Maybe going to try and lead 1 lap. But Yusuf Ghali saying that he increased his shifter's sensitivity. Went into first by accident during the wreck there and blew the engine up. He'll be back after it's repaired. But we'll see. Yusuf, I'm not sure you'll have time to get it back out there. It's usually... these guys are really flying through the laps. Oh, we'll see. But unfortunate that happened to you. Some good races over the last few weeks. Not going to be able to follow that up tonight. But green flag the entire way through stage 1. And I think we might see a similar situation. We'll see some green flag pit stops. If they do stay green for much of this race. And Jeff Wright still on the racetrack. Not sure. I think he might have pitted tail end. I don't really know what is going on right now. He is showing his 18th tail end of the lead lap, so he must have pitted right before the stage. And he's going to get a wave around right now. Mark Emerson also tail end of the lead lap. As pace car lights are off, we'll go to a quick side-by-side as they make their way around, and we will be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn one. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and
Back at the racetrack now, about to get things going. Green flag back in the air. We are underway once again from the iRacing Superspeedway. Connor Horn leading the field. Down into turn number one, he is Zach Halpern to the inside. AJ Stravato, Garrett Kite there in row number two, trying to get up there and lead some laps potentially. But Zach Halpern's going to gain the advantage through turns one and two. Here comes AJ Stravato now dipping to the inside. Connor Horn up there all by himself. No real help except for Angelo Ronas a couple of car lengths behind him. And it does look like Keith Maillotta was able to get some of his damage repaired, but 3 laps down here in the 20th position. One of only a few drivers off the lead lap. Alec Martinez, the only car 1 lap down, and he's not even caught up to the lead pack. So Alec may be in some trouble of going down more laps during stage number 2. You can see they are way up there. Now Garrett Kite going to look to the outside of Zach Halpern. Not going to be able to make that work. Inside line seems to be king for the moment, especially when they're all lined up like this at high speed with the fresh tires. Now Garrett, though, going to look to the outside down the front straightaway. He's trying to get to the quarter panel and work the side draft, but he is not there. Into turn number one, 240 miles an hour. Zach Halpern now in the high lane. He's going to keep that bottom lane open up for the 8 car. Garrett Kite going to take the top spot away. Joe Stafford trying to follow suit. He's got AJ Stravato in his wake, as well as Bailey Turner, who's gotten the front end of that car cleaned up just a little. Looked like they were closing in nearly 3 wide. A little farther back, Jeremy Miller was in the middle of it. He backed out of it. Currently riding in 10th, the pole sitter. That's Connor Horn and Elliott Butler right behind him. 2-3 wide, headed down into the corner. As Joe Stafford in the middle, he's going to be able to clear right down in between Jeremiah Vincent and Bailey Turner. That was a close call. This lead group of 12 race cars out in front, and then Jeff Wright with Safe Ferris. Those two working together, trying to catch back up, but right now not doing enough to get there. At least not in a timely fashion. I think by the time they would get there, it'd be pit stop cycle. And I don't know if they'd be able to make it there even at that point. But AJ Stravato takes over the lead. Bailey Turner right behind him. Joe Stafford as well. And it seems like you can lead a few laps here tonight, and then the guys behind you just catch up and drive right on by. The slingshot very effective. You see Bailey Turner look down low. That's going to open the high side up for Joe Stafford, who will take second. Here comes Jeremiah Vincent with the big push. And the group farther back, I see Taylor Butcher Benjamin, Lyle Sulfridge Adam Cabot back here as well. He had an extended stay on pit road. Mark Emerson, Keith Mayato also back here. Mark, the last car on the lead lap. Keith currently 3 laps down in 20th. And the only driver to take it behind the wall, Yusuf Ghali. So perhaps they've taken it to the garage. Continuing to work on that engine. We'll see if he does have an opportunity to get back on track, but it could be quite some time. And it might be right before the end of the race. So Yusuf has taken it behind the wall for the moment. We'll see if they bring it back out. But Greg Wellen has taken the top spot. And Zach Halpern right now behind him. Angelo Ronas as well. And all these guys up here really searching for a first victory. There are a few winners in this lead pack. And AJ Stravato. Connor Horn. Those are the only 2, actually, that have won a race that are up here in the lead group. Bailey Turner does have a stage win. Driver riding in 7th position. But Bailey not a threat to make it into the playoffs. He joined this season a bit late, and right now I think 28th in points. As he gets a move down underneath Joe Stafford, but can't get it to stick. He's chasing that car all the way to the pit lane entrance. But Greg Wellen out in front, leading his first laps of the evening. And showing the way in front of Zach Halpern, AJ Stravato, Elliott Butler, and Joe Stafford, the top 5. You see Jeremiah Vincent. Or actually, that is Adam Cabot all the way back there. He's now synced up with the 22 and the 36. But this might be a bit too far back for Adam. I really don't know why he is so far back here. Probably 11.5 seconds behind the leader. Jeff Wright, Sayfair is not able to keep up. They are 4.5 seconds back. You can see that lead pack far and away down the straightaway. But these two just far enough in the distance to maybe not get involved in something. Even going about 235 miles an hour, they should be able to slow up. This lead group single file for the moment, as we have already completed a third of the race. You see Angelo Ronas starting to make that move to the high side. No help up there right now, as most drivers content to stay in line, but he does jump up there. Here comes Bailey Turner. He'll try and provide some assistance to the Adidas Ford Mustang down into turn 3. And Bailey bailed out there. Right now content to ride down low. But the actually jumped back up, and Angelo Ronas lost a lot of ground right there, so he is not really in position to take advantage of the draft. But things shuffling around a little bit in the lead group, but not really a whole lot of major movement. You do see that Jeff Wright and Sayfair is still continuing to lose time. Another second lost to these leaders. And Jeff, I think with a clean race car, just hoping something might happen. He could get a shot at winning this thing. Missed a lot of races as of late and has fallen through the standings. And if he does have to miss 1 or 2 more, he's going to be in jeopardy of falling out of the playoffs entirely. I see the lap machine of Alec Martinez all by himself. Not too far off in the distance. Alec already one lap down and didn't catch up to the lead pack before we took the green flag, so he had to restart basically another half lap down, and he is about a quarter lap ahead right now. His lap time's in the 47s, the race leader's 45s. About 2.5 difference that time. Zach Halpern still riding in second here. He's got AJ Stravato, his good buddy, behind him. I know AJ wants to go out there and win races. He might be trying to help Zach out. I said Zach down, I think 18th in the standings or thereabouts. He really does need some good finishes for the next few races to have any chance of making the top 12. As they are snaking around across the start-finish line, still single file. Now Angelo Ronas jumps back up to the high side. He really seems to like it up there, as he's going to try and make some passes. They checked up down low. He might be able to slot in. No, the 30 closes the hole back up. But Angelo almost able to gain a couple spots by that move. It's a little ways back, still 3-car grouping here with Adam Cabot, Mark Emerson, and Keith Mayato. These guys actually as fast as the race leaders. They're just 15 seconds back. So they'll be able to catch up here in a little while to Lyle Sulfridge and Taylor Butcher Benjamin. You can see not too terribly far behind. And then Safe Ferris and Jeff Wright also a bit off the pace, although they've picked it up. The last time by, they were quite a bit quicker than before. And that time by, actually, the slowest cars, other than Alec Martinez, were Taylor Butcher Benjamin and Lyle Sulfridge. So those two not synced up right now. And it is costing them for sure. They're fading really fast as AJ Stravato takes the race lead away. And Greg Welling got shuffled all the way back to 8th, so we missed that. And here comes Angelo Ronas. He's going to split the middle 3 wide. It's getting crazy up here towards the front. Drivers maybe knowing they have to make a pit stop. AJ Stravato falls to 5th. Jeremiah Vincent to the top of the board. And Bailey Turner 2nd. Garrett Kite 3rd. We did see Mark Emerson bring it down pit lane, so he has pulled it into the box. An extended stay in his stall. Might have called it a night, but we'll have to see if he ends up rolling off. At any point here, it's been 30 seconds, and it's not looking like that car getting any work completed on it. As the lap car of Alec Martinez in danger of going a 2nd lap down. And it looks like he will. There goes Jeremiah Vincent with the push from Bailey Turner and Garrett Kite. And then side by side, you see Joe Stafford and Angelo Ronas now 3 wide with the lap machine. And Joe going to drop down low. AJ Stravato trying to find his way back towards the front and battle potentially for the race lead. No, the 24 Bailey Turner tucks back in line. Continuing to circulate around here, waiting for some lap or some cars to bring it down pit lane. Here's Safe Ferris on the jack. Jeff Wright taking 2 tires already off and away. And Safe with a pretty bad pit stop, 16 seconds. Not going to be happy with his crew about that one. That'll lose his drafting partner. Out in front, Jeremiah Vincent continues to show the way. No real developments there for the moment, but Angelo Ronas still working the high side. Now drops back down low. But he has been flirting with running up there as much as possible. He does it again. He'll jump to the outside and maybe pull a little draft here from Garrett Kite or Bailey Turner, who kind of give him a little assistance down into turn 1. But Angelo, not a whole lot of friends up there for the moment. Waiting on drivers to bring it down pit lane. We'll see if they can split stage number 2. It would be quite a run in 20 laps so far. We'll know if they'll have to make a second one if they bring it in here over the next 5 laps or so. Pole sitter Jeremy Miller's had a bit of an up and down day. Been all throughout the top 10 and right now in the 9th position after leading the first 4 laps. Or 4 of the first 10 laps, rather. Right now in behind Greg Wellen, who rides behind Angelo Ronas. Greg has led 8 laps, which could be up there with some of the most that anyone's led this evening. Bonus points important for a lot of these guys, so definitely important for somebody like Jeremiah Vincent as well, who's led 5 laps after starting so far back in the field. Important for him to gather as many points as he possibly can. Just taking a look at the standings right now where Jeremiah comes in. He is 15 points out at the moment, 15th in the standings, 15 points out. Jeremiah looking for every point he can get. He's got some friends in the field as well. Bailey Turner there, peak tie, but he drops back in line. Now AJ Stravato going to try and work the second groove. We've got cars coming down pit lane. That is Bailey Turner, Joe Stafford, and Angelo Ronas hard on the brakes for the 24. They may have all been speeding, but Bailey really locked him up, and we'll see what the penalties are. But Zach Halpern also in. Lane Sulfridge, Adam Cabot, Lyle Sulfridge have already completed service on their cars, as well as Keith Mayato. Some of those leaders may be making mistakes. As down the backstretch these leaders go. Jeremiah Vincent out in front. When does he bring it in? Might be this time. We'll find out. There he goes. And here comes AJ Stroud. Here comes almost everybody except for a couple cars. And they are hard on the brakes, locking them up. And I think maybe the 8 of Garrett Kite might have been speeding, but everybody else seemed to have gotten it slowed up pretty well. And that leaves Jeremy Miller and Connor Horn, the only 2 yet to pit. And they are going to go right on past the other cars there. That was Bailey Turner. It doesn't look like Bailey had any speeding penalty. Angelo Ronas, Joe Stafford as well didn't have any. But these 2 going an extra lap. We'll see how much it affects them. As, Connor nearly gets in the back of the 30. They may have made contact. I think I see damage on Connor's front end. Yeah, big hit there for the right front. As they get down to pit road speed. Bit of an issue for Connor Horn. He was really pushing it right there. Let's go back and take a look at this. Yeah, really clipped him there. It was hard to see from the initial angle. But that is some serious damage for Connor Horn. And you don't want that around a track like this. As AJ Stravato pulling back on the racetrack with his fellow drivers. No speeding penalties assessed during that cycle, which is pretty incredible. But AJ Stravato currently the race leader. I think Bailey Turner might end up getting it. As here he comes, fully up to speed, 230 miles an hour. He'll take the net lead away as Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller starting to get back on the racetrack. You'll see how much the damage has really affected Connor. As it looks like they took 2 tires apiece. They did not take 4 tires, so that could have helped them. Now Angelo Ronas taking over the lead of the cars that have pitted back here, but it looks like Connor and Jeremy not going to lose this draft. They should be able to get up in behind these guys, but Angelo Rona should be able to fly right around them, and he will, bringing Joe Stafford and company along with him. And no penalties to bring it back down pit road or anything like that. So it is clean and green. And no penalties. So very surprising. I thought we'd see some, but the entrance to pit road apparently farther than the start of the wall, so you can really push it. And that is exactly what we saw drivers do. AJ Stravato now taking over the lead. And we still have 8 cars in this lead group. Greg Well and Jeremiah Vincent fighting to stay up to speed with these top 8. And if they can get back in the mix, that'll be 10 drivers under a blanket. Zach Halpern also pulling a draft off of Alec Martinez, but Alec currently 2 laps down. And Mark saying his engine went boom. And he is taking it behind the wall. 20th position will be where he calls it a night. And that is unfortunate, Mark. I didn't see it happen to you. I just saw you on pit road. But we've seen a couple engines expire tonight for differing reasons, I believe. Look at this 3 wide. Elliott Butler was in the middle. Bailey Turner up high. They settle it out, but Bailey fading back a little bit. Here comes Angelo Ronas with a big run. Almost took it to the outside. There's Elliott Butler blinking up here in this lead group. He'll go all the way up to the outside wall and I think let these guys past. And now past the halfway point, let's take a look at the recap. 14 lead changes, just 1 caution for the stage. And it has been clean and green. There have been accidents, but they didn't bring out the yellow flag. Nobody really went all the way around in those cases. Keith Mayato really the worst off of anyone from the initial incidents. A good race so far. Everybody just trying to survive, I think, at this point. They'll have to make one more pit stop in about 20 laps. And there may be some strategy calls there. Some drivers may be taking less fuel, no tires. We'll see. But if you took 2 tires on this stop, they may not be able to do that again with the tire wear that you'd expect from going 240 miles an hour around a track like this. Go on board with Elliott Butler. He works to the inside of Angelo Ronas. This is 239, 240. 242 is what he maxed out at right there. You can see the RPMs pinned up there, up by 9,000. Just imagine if these cars had 900 horsepower like they used to, how fast they'd be going around this track. They could be topping 250, 260 miles an hour. At least in iRacing. I don't know about real life. I don't think that'd be possible with a 900 horsepower car. The top 8 pulling away. It looks like Greg Wellen and Jeremiah Vincent not able to do enough just yet to catch up. They're currently matching lap times to the cars at the tail end of that group, but we can see the times actually starting to fall off that time. 4/10 slower, so the gap opening up. And Zach Halpern another 8/10 or so off from there. But we've got cars slow and down on the apron. That is Joe Stafford. They keep it green. Let's see what happened. As Joe was down on the inside trying to make the pass for second. He gets a little contact with the 8. Gets a tap from the 30, and that sends Jeremy Miller down the racetrack, but they save it. What an incredible job of merging back on the track. And that is going to send these two all the way back here with Jeremiah Vincent and Greg Wellen, and that could actually be a big benefit to those two. There'll be 4 cars instead of just 2, and they might be able to pull the leaders who also got checked up a little bit from all of that. Angelo Ronas makes a move to the outside. Garrett Kite has taken over the top spot. In the meantime, while all of this went down, I'm just so interested to see what the pit strategy is going to be here in about 20 laps. Because it doesn't look like Connor or Jeremy necessarily have had any handling issues with the 2-tire call. So I think we may see some drivers take 2 or take none on this last pit stop and try and get an advantage that way. But they will need fuel at the very least, so we know that. I think the farthest they can go is about 27 laps. That's the farthest we've seen. Angelo Ronas, big wiggle right there on the outside of AJ Stravato. Taking a look at it, looks like Bailey Turner took it behind the wall. Don't know what happened to Bailey. But he has taken it behind the wall, and Keith Maioto will gain another spot due to that. And look at this, these guys catching back up. We'll have 9 cars under a blanket here in a few moments, with Greg Wellen getting the draft off Connor Horn. Connor with that right front damage. Just barely able to hang on to these top 5. Zach Halpern also on the lead lap. He is 10 seconds back. Lane Sulfridge right now 18.7 back. Jeff Wright another couple more back. He is here with a few other drivers in Lyle Sulfridge, Say Ferris, Adam Cabot, Taylor Butcher Benjamin, and Keith Maioto, who is 3 laps down, also in the mix back here. But these guys trying to work together to stay just about a half lap down. They're 22 seconds back. Leaders lapping at a 45-second pace. Elliott Butler has passed up Greg Wellen behind, as well as Jeremiah Vincent. He's gotten past. And Jeremy Miller, Joe Stafford, they have fallen off the back bumper, and they've not been able to close in, so little development right there. These guys may continue to fade right now. Matching lap times with the top 7, but not quite able to keep up. If you are just joining us, this is the Virtual Racing League in the iRacing Superspeedway. Race number 14 of 25 right here on YouTube. I want to thank everyone who's tuned in and watching and coming out here on YouTube since we've made the transition over. But we have already completed stage 1. We're in stage 2. It'll be just 30 to go next time by. It's still 90 miles around this track, but they get around here quickly. 45-second laps. Topping speeds of 240 miles an hour at points. So a lot of fun to watch these guys run around here. If you are enjoying the broadcast, consider following us at these different social media outlets. Consider hitting that subscribe button or supporting us here on YouTube, as well as over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We did get the Facebook page back up and operating, and thankful that we were. Still not sure what the problem was, but might be related to broadcasting on that platform. So we're going to keep it here on YouTube all alone for the next bit, and we'll have to follow up with Facebook to understand what the issues were. But glad to have that back, and that's where we post announcements before the broadcast, so check it out over there. As we have been broadcasting each race for the Virtual Racing League, and the standings are getting tighter and tighter around the cut line, with only a few races left in the regular season. Let's take a look. I'm going to pull up the schedule to see where we go over the next few weeks. We do have an off week next week, but following that, Bristol, Nashville Superspeedway, Daytona Roval, and the Daytona Superspeedway. So those will be the final 4 races in the regular season. Going to settle the regular season championship as well as the playoff grid. We've got 12 drivers in it right now. There's probably about 20 in contention. Only 3 spots have been locked up out of those 12. So 9 spots and about 17 drivers trying to fill them. A couple will be filled up after tonight's race, just on points alone. Right now, Garrett Kite trying to do his very best to get up into the mix in the top 12 in the standings as well. Coming into tonight's race, Garrett is 16th as Connor Horn goes way down the track. But as I was saying, Garrett 16th in points coming in, and he is about 27 back of Greg Wellen in 12th position. So a good run here tonight could make the difference. This race a little bit less in the driver's hands than maybe the next 4 tracks. But small field tonight has made it a bit easier to survive if you're up here at the front. We've only seen a handful of small incidents. I think Connor Horn having some issues right now. He has fallen off this lead group. I'm not sure if he's overheating or something with the right front damage, but he is well off the pace. And I don't really know what's going on there. But 7th position, maybe starting to fall back towards his teammate Jeremy Miller. And Zach Halpern also a ways back. Might be trying to help those guys out. We'll see what Connor's doing. He's got 4 race wins, but not going to help his chances necessarily to win the regular season championship. He's got AJ Stravato running up here, the points leader. And laps clicking off. AJ with some friends up in this lead group. Going to get a pretty solid finish, I think. Right now he is drafting with Jeremiah Vincent. Good friend there in the number 9. And like we said, Jeremiah 15 points out of the top 12 coming into tonight. I'd expect some drivers to bring it down pit lane in the next 2 or 3 laps. We will probably see stops as late as lap 73 or 74. But we'll probably see most of them I think most of them will probably be here right around lap 70, 71. Well, actually, they may have to go a little bit farther than that. I really don't know. It's going to be pretty tight on fuel for these guys. I did my math wrong originally. The most we've seen was 27 on a cycle. If they go 27 on this run, that will put them at lap number 73, and then it will be 27 more. So they're going to have to stretch it the max distance these next 2 runs, and that is what Connor Horn is doing. He is slowing up to try and make it. As we have a car on pit road, and the car's hard in the inside wall, getting on the pit lane, still trying to hang on to it. And the 71 going around, that is the 71 of Lane Sulfridge with issues. What happened with Lane? As the 70 slowed up, Keith nowhere to go, just drills him right in the back. And then around they go. They're all coming down pit lane, but Keith Maotto unaware that they were pitting. And I'm not sure if anyone had announced it or not. Angelo Ronas pulls it on the pit lane right now. from up there in the top 5. He'll surrender that position. Joe Stafford also brings it down from inside the top 10. And this seems a bit early to me. They'll have to go over 30 laps, but maybe realizing they can't make it on just one more stop anyways. Zach Halpern, Adam Cabot. Trying to see who else. Lane Sulfur, John Pitt. Lane, Safe Ferris and Jeff Wright pitted a few laps ago, actually. And here come the leaders. Garrett Kite, who's led 15 laps tonight. Elliot Butler, AJ Stravato, Jeremiah Vincent. Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller staying out. I know exactly what the strategy call is here. These guys are trying to make it on just the one more stop. Connor slowed down a ton. I think Jeremy was kind of running slow on purpose for a bit. That's why they lost so much ground. But this could be the call to win the race. Everybody else has brought it in. This guy's still on the track. Here comes Connor. Here comes Jeremy. This is going to be tight to the end of the race. It'll be 30 laps. They just went 20. They went 21 coming to 22. This is going to be difficult. Maybe they just realize they can't make it either. Or maybe it's oh, Connor overshoots the box too. That is not going to help. Here come the rest of the leaders. Angelo Ronas takes over the lead from AJ Stravato and Elliot Butler. I think he'll have... He is coming in here really fast. Elliot Butler brings it back down pit road. Locking up the front brakes. And maybe a speeding penalty from the previous stop. We'll have to find out if he stops in the box again or goes all the way through. Meanwhile, Garrett Kite up here with AJ Stravato and Angelo Ronas. They're by themselves. They've got 3.5 seconds back to Jeremiah Vincent. And then another 3 seconds to Greg Wellen. And then 2 more seconds back to Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller. And Elliot Butler did not stop. He did just do a drive-through. Speeding for the 6 car is going to take him out of contention without a penalty. And 20 to go. Man, I keep getting my math messed up. I thought it was 30 to go for some reason. 20 laps to go. Penalty for Garrett Kite we're hearing right now as well. He is on pit road. Drive-through penalty will cost him a shot at the win. So 20 to go. These guys should be able to make it on fuel. So I was right originally with my math. I second-guessed myself. And I was wrong. I don't know what I was thinking there. But AJ Stravato, Angelo Ronas now out in front by themselves. They've got 8.5 seconds back to Jeremiah Vincent. So it's going to be between these two. Angelo Ronas looking for his first victory of the year, and AJ Stravato looking for his third. Looking to extend the points lead. We're going to go to a quick side-by-side commercial break while these guys race it up together. With less than 20 laps to go, we will be right back.
Welcome to V-Speed, your home for sim racing excitement, providing dramatic moments from iRacing and beyond. We offer broadcasting for leagues across iRacing, with specialized packages to help grow your league and advertise your sponsors.
Shot at it, I think, and right now Stravato with that advantage. It's half a car length the difference between first and second going into turn 1. He gives the bumper to Connor Horn.
These two have gone all year to get to this point. Jacob Shorba drifting up the racetrack. They make contact. The 88 goes around. The 95 goes around. The 12 caught in it.
Our design team can help you create anything from paint schemes to sim rig parts with expertise in both 2D and 3D design with 3D printing capabilities. Looking to get into broadcasting yourself? We can help you design and operate custom overlays to make your stream look as professional as possible. Our team can create and manage custom merchandise sales for you and your team. Check out our shop to see what we have in stock and how we can create some awesome merch for you. Check out our race replays on YouTube or catch us live weekly on Twitch. Visit us at vspeedsim.com to see how we can help you on your iRacing journey.
I'm Jonathan Proper, CEO of Drops.com, and I'm here to give you the naked truth about laundry. Size does not matter when it comes to laundry. Let's start with jugs. It's big all right, messy too, and expensive. You know why? Lots of plastic, lots of water, shipped all over the country, from factory to warehouse to retailer. That's what you're paying for. It's a dinosaur, and we all know dinosaurs are extinct. Meet our imitators. This is your average detergent pod. It has 20 plus chemicals with names nobody can pronounce. Nice colors. I hope they don't stain. I know color doesn't clean. Would you take a bath in either of these? No way. That's why we developed Drops. Drops is dye-free, MPE-free, phosphate-free, animal cruelty-free. So free, it's freaking awesome. We make Drops with only 6 safe ingredients, certified by the EPA. Drops is tough on dirt, but gentle enough for baby's skin. It's so gentle, I'm taking a bath in it. Doing laundry with Drops is hard to up. 1 drop equals 1 load. Now, can we talk about my package? 100% recyclable. Manufacturing Drops ourselves and distributing directly helps us cut out the middleman and reduce transportation costs. With delivery plans as low as $4 a month, the average family can save $100 a year. Hello? What are you saying? The cleanest clothes at the lowest price? You're damn right it's a great deal. Thanks for calling. Shipping is always free. You choose the product and plan that's right for you, and we'll drop Drops at your door. The naked truth is that Drops makes laundry better and life easier. Every Drops counts, saving money, plastic, water, and time. So go to Drops.com. The first one's on us.
Back at the racetrack now, AJ Servato leading Angelo Ronis over the rest of the field by over 5 seconds as Jeremiah Vincent, Greg Wellen, Connor Horn, the top 5. And everybody pretty much out of contention. You see the closest cars other than those top 2 being Jeremiah Vincent and Greg Wellen. But the rest of the field, at least 13 seconds back after mistakes through the pit cycle or just bad pit strategy, knocking them out of contention for the win here this evening. But AJ Servato and Angelo Ronis, they have played it just perfectly. And it's going to be one of these two that wins the race unless they wreck each other, which is possible. A long front straightaway. Oh, and here they come once again. Maybe they can't make it on fuel. And that's going to hand the lead over to Jeremiah Vincent and Greg Wellen. So as soon as I thought I had it figured out, I realized that I'm an idiot as the 2 leaders bring it down pit road. And that's going to hand it over to Jeremiah and Greg. Connor Horn, Jeremy Miller, also still on the racetrack, as well as everybody else. Those top 2 either just did not take enough fuel or they burned more, but they still have 10 laps to go in this race. I don't understand the call. Maybe just a big mistake on their part and big miscalculation. I know I miscalculated a few times. Jeremiah Vincent leading the way, looking for his first victory. Greg Wellen as well. Both drivers right around the cut line and need the points. Jeremiah 15 on the outside. Greg only 3 points on the inside of that playoff cut line. So that changes everything. Connor Horn, Jeremy Miller, Jeff Wright inheriting the top 5 positions. And let's see here. AJ Stravato and Angelo Ronas cycle back to 13th and 14th. Nearly a whole lap down. 39 seconds back. These top 2 now have a massive advantage. It's 11 seconds. They can back it off a little bit if they need to. If they need to save gas, they can leapfrog one another. They can do a lot of things to make it to the end if they think they're going to be a lap or 2 short. This run would be right around 20 to 21 laps. And I think it's right in the range that they can go, especially with this 11.5-second advantage back to 3rd position. And then those guys back there, they can bide their time as well. They've got 10 seconds back to Jeff Wright in 5th. As Jeff Wright, can't say enough about him. He started all the way in the back and wasn't even sure if he was going to make it into the race tonight. But started 14th. He's up to the top 5. Doing what he needs to do to get enough points to continue to stay in the top 12 in the standings. He's got a good cushion after a race win earlier in the year. He was leading the standings very early on in the season. But missing a lot of races will knock you down a few pegs as he finds himself inside the top 10, but not super comfortably compared to where he could have been if he was in all these races. But back here tonight in the top 5. Definitely a strong run for the 48, but he has some hungry dogs behind him. Safe Fair is continuing to have success, but not so much tonight. He is 1 lap down. And the 8 car of Garrett Kite right there for the 6th position. He is trying to stay with these 2. In front of him, Adam Cabot, Zach Halpern, Joe Stafford, Elliott Butler, and Taylor Butcher Benjamin, all in line for position back here. Meanwhile, Greg Wellen out in front. He's taking it away from Jeremiah Vincent. They did flip-flop like I thought, and they're coming back to, it'll be 6 to go next time. So we'll see if they can stretch it on fuel, if they'll make it the whole way. For Greg, it will be 22 laps, which we've seen drivers go a few more than that. Here comes Alec Martinez onto pit road. He's only got 16 laps on this tank of fuel. Maybe just getting out of the way of the leaders, knows he's not a threat. 3 laps down. Right now, Keith Mayato did take it behind the wall. Lane Sulfridge with the heavy damage that he received. Getting onto pit lane, he is going to be 18th, 14 minutes on pit road at the moment. As we do have a couple cars coming down. Jeff Wright, Safe Fair is bringing it down pit lane. They were some of the earlier pitters. And we saw Alec Martinez come down. He took just 2 tires and fuel. And I'm going to be very interested to see if these guys can make it all the way to the end of the race. These top 2. 5 laps to go at the line. Be a first win of the year for either driver. It'd be a first career win for Greg Wellen, as far as I am aware. And would bring him a little bit closer to the battle for Rookie of the Year with Safe Ferris, who has also captured a race win this season. Looking for other drivers to bring it down pit lane. Not seeing anybody at the moment, as Safe Ferris, Jeff Wright just took 2 tires and fuel, or fuel only with short pit times. And meanwhile, 5 laps to go. Coming to 4 laps to go. It's Greg Wellen, Jeremiah Vincent, 9.6 seconds out in front. Alec Martinez back on the pit road. Must have had a penalty or didn't take enough fuel. I'm not exactly sure what happened right there. 4 laps remaining. The gap back to Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller is dropping. These top 2 slowing up a bit. They went 48.5 second lap that time, actually. The Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller's high 45. It was a 45.9 from Connor Horn and a 48.4 from Greg Wellen. So this race is not over yet. 4 laps remaining at that kind of pace. The 67 and the 30 would be there right at that finish line. And they are continuing to just chip away at that race lead. Look at the gap closing down. It'll be under 7 seconds as they cross the start-finish line. The 94 of Greg Wellen, that time of 48.1. Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller, 46.2. So about 1.9 seconds the difference. It's 3 laps remaining, 6.5 seconds to go. They might just get there, especially with a draft. It is going to be a lot closer than I thought. This is, as soon as it seems I have something figured out, these guys keep proving me wrong. Shows how much you know about a race like this and a track like this if you just have not seen the races here. Did not expect this to be a fuel mileage event with the attrition rate and the separations that we've seen. But a bit more like old school super speedway racing. 2 laps to go as Alec Martinez on pit road again. Mistake after mistake, and he's just, I think, maybe going to call it an evening. Can't gain any positions at this point. But the gap from first and second back to third and fourth, Connor Horn and Jeremy Miller continues to shrink. Now 4.2 seconds, but it might be a little too late, as those guys seem to have slowed it up a bit, and the top 2 have picked up the pace again. That gap stabilizing at 4.4 seconds. The question is, do these 2 have enough fuel? Are they pushing it so hard that they're going to run out at the line? Is somebody going to have an advantage as Greg Wellen in front? White flag in the air, looking for first career victory in the Virtual Racing League. Be another first-time winner. Jeremiah, I'm not sure if he's won here in the past, but a long-time driver in the league. As Greg Wellen really putting the power down, trying to create a gap back to the 9. And Jeremiah doesn't seem like he's able to close up enough. Down into turn 3 and 4, Greg Wellen the advantage. Here comes Jeremiah now with a run, a car length behind. The gap shrinking through 3 and 4. Greg Wellen down the front straightaway. It's really long here. Jeremiah not close enough to make the move. Greg Wellen will win at the iRacing Super Speedway, his first career win in the Virtual Racing League. What a drive for Greg Wellen. Mistake-free. He led 16 laps, and he takes his first career victory. Congratulations to Greg Wellen. What a good job here tonight to capture the win after starting all the way back in 17th and avoiding some carnage, some chaos. As he brings it back around to the front straightaway. Connor Horn ended up in the 3rd position, and Jeremy Miller ends up 4th. So Connor on the podium once again. We'll get a word in with him, and he is going to gain some points on the 33 of AJ Stravato. AJ finished 12th. As here is Greg taking the flag from the flag man, and he is going to bring it back to his crew. We will be right back after a quick commercial break with the post-race interviews.
V-Speed is proud to be partnered with Below the Double Yellow podcast, a podcast for NASCAR fans by NASCAR fans. Listen to Nick and Joe discuss all the latest on-track action, available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. V-Speed is also proud to present the 2021 Below the Double Yellow Cup Series, brought to you by the American Trucking Association, starting January 14th, 8:25 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursdays at twitch.tv/VSpeedSim.
Back at the racetrack now, we're going to pull up our race winner, Greg Wellen. We'll see if we can get him up here in the booth. Greg Wellen, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got a copy?
Loud and clear. Adam, how you doing?
Hey, not too bad, man. I'm sure you're feeling pretty good yourself. Your first career win here in the Virtual Racing League after a crazy race. You were able to get the strategy just right. You had the speed, and you did it exactly how you needed to here tonight. How do you feel?
Yeah, I shouldn't be here. Look, I'm not good enough to run with these guys yet. I've only been back for a year, and these guys are top of the line. I stole this one, but I'm happy I did.
Yeah, it was a bit thinned out there at the end. You know, we saw AJ and also another car up front, Angelo, up there, and they ended up pitting late in the race. Was it really close on fuel for you guys coming there through those last few laps?
So I had asked Jeremiah to wait for me, and I told him I wasn't going to pass him. I was just going to push him even to the win. I was like, I got to keep my word, you know. And then he jumps down into my channel and he says, hey, I'm not good. When do you want to pit? And I was like, I get bad news for you, bud. I'm good. And I go, hey, if you want to fall in behind me, I'll let you draft with me and I'll slow down. Since you helped me, I'll help you. And then, you know, he was able to catch back up. And then with 2 to go, I said, look, let's race it out. And I was able to get it.
Yeah, definitely wasn't sure how it was going to work out, if you guys were good or not. And we saw Connor and Jeremy closing in at a really rapid rate. You know, it was at 1.2.5, 3 seconds a lap. But you hold on for the win, your first of the season. And you were right there at the cut line, 3 points up coming into tonight's race. You know, how much confidence and momentum does this give you over these last few races of the regular season?
Oh, man, just to win in this league, even though it's at iRacing Superspeedway, it's swinging a little bigger, if you know what I mean. But a lot of confidence, man. I mean, this feels good. This is cool.
Yeah, definitely cool to see another new winner this season. And we do go to Bristol in a couple weeks after our off week next week. So how do you feel about that racetrack?
Oh, 12th place.
Well, you know, you got the win here tonight. We'll see if you can back it up. You've had a really good season overall. I'd say very, very solid. Some really strong races here and there, and we'll see if you can back up a win. But start 17th, lead 16 laps on your way to victory. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Absolutely. I mean, the Inland Empire Redbirds, the boys are getting ready for the World Series here in 3 weeks. So a big shout out to the boys. This was for them. And then Zoe's Academy out there. They're always doing fundraisers. You know, give them a look.
Awesome, Greg. Well, congrats on the win. Great to see you get one here this season. And we'll catch you in a couple weeks at Bristol.
10-4, Adam. Thank you.
Thank you. That was race winner Greg Wellen. I think a bit surprised himself to be up here with the race win, but great job there by the number 94. Played it just right. He had the right amount of gas, and he was able to hold off Jeremiah Vincent, who we are about to talk to. Jeremiah Vincent, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got me. Jeremiah, you got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, awesome. Well, Jeremiah, just a little bit short here tonight, but you had to come from the back of the pack. You worked your way to the front a few times, and we heard from Greg that you were a bit short there late in the going. He was able to help you out, but did you think you were going to be able to get back past him there, or what was really going through your mind those last few laps?
I was trying to get some runs, but like it's just if you didn't have any help, you can't really get around guys that well with this draft package. But I was happy to see him get his first VRL win and be part of it, and I appreciate him helping me out getting my fuel. Because when I was out in front of him, I was going to run out going down the backstretch on the last lap, and then like we swapped spots, and it kind of equalized us and actually improved us a bit, where we could save a little more, and then just go out at the end.
Yeah, and that looked like the case. You guys really slowed up for a little bit there, but the last 2 laps you picked it back up, and there was no threat from Connor or Jeremy behind you. You came into tonight's race 15th in points, 15 points outside the top 12. How much momentum and confidence does this give you over or going into the last 4 races of the regular season?
It helps a lot. Need a little improvement on my mile and a half, I think, and I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to seeing if you can get it up back into the top 12. I know you were up there a good portion of this season. You missed a couple races here as of late, but I think you've got the speed and consistency to be up there, so we'll see how it goes for you the next stretch. But we go to Bristol in a couple weeks. How are you feeling about that track to start with?
I love short tracks. That's where I tend to thrive at, I think, or at least better at. I actually have a win at that in this series, but it's been a little while. So hopefully I get some good luck this time around.
Yeah, we'll see if you can grab one here and continue to build on this second place finish. But you start 19th, lead 12 laps on your way to the runner-up. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
I'm going to shout out to my teammates, especially Lane. He stuck with me there in the beginning. We started from the rear, worked our way up into the top 10. Give thanks to family members that are watching, and thank you, Adam. You guys at V-Speed do a great job in broadcasting. And then shout out to Reggie, the VRL crew. You guys are great. And guess I'll see you guys next time.
All right, Jeremiah, congrats on the second place finish, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks at Bristol.
Thank you. Have a good one, man.
You too. That was Jeremiah Vincent. Haven't talked to Jeremiah in the interview form in a little while, but we were so used to talking to him on Thursday nights last season in the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series. But third place finisher this evening we are used to talking to. Connor Horn, Adam in the V-Speed booth. You got me?
Yep, 10-4.
Well, Connor, not a race win, but man, it looked like you almost had the race-winning strategy there late in the going. You guys closed up from, I think it was about 12 seconds back to right around 5. Did you think you were going to be able to get there, or what was going on with the strategy late in the going?
I didn't really know what was going to happen. It was a pretty frustrating race. Just a tough super speedway with no restrictor plates make the racing kind of weird with the package. How you have an air bubble. The runs you get are crazy. If you don't lift in time, you're going to run someone over, and the side drafting gets people carried away sometimes. There's a few wrecks here and there. Yellow came out. Well, actually, no, a yellow didn't come out in the first run. Had the run of the end where I pushed Zach to a stage win, which he needed. Kind of got hung out. AJ made his way under me. I was frustrated because he got a point on me. And then we figured it was going to be a fuel-saving race to the end. It seemed like a bunch of other people didn't know that it was going to be a fuel race. I think it was the second run that we were in the pack. Jeremy kind of got... Garrett kind of caused something and pushed Joe into Jeremy. So he lost the draft, and then when I was in the draft trying to get back in line, I came down in front of Jeremiah, who was going 15 miles per hour faster than me, and he couldn't lift in time. So I was out of the pack. Me and Jeremy got back together with each other. We pit about 21 to go, and that was our number that we had to get to make sure we could just go full on to the end. So we knew we had more fuel than everyone, and we didn't have to save. And Garrett speeding, and I think the 57 might have gotten a penalty. A few others got penalties that really helped us get to 5th and 6th at the time. Me and Jeremy were able to just kind of tandem a little bit and get back in a rhythm. We didn't have, our cars were damaged. We didn't really have the car to go catch them. Our really only hope was to hope they ran out of fuel, and AJ and Angelo couldn't make it. So I think AJ finished 12th, so that's big, gain points on him. When they dropped from 13 seconds ahead to 4, I was thinking maybe they are going to be in a bad spot, because the way it was going, we were going to catch them coming out of 4 to the line to get the checkered flag, but then they picked up the pace, and they had enough fuel to go, so me and Jeremy couldn't get them in time. So it sucks, but got 3rd and didn't pass AJ, but gained points on him, so that's good.
Yeah, that championship battle for the regular season championship is going to be very close and down to the wire. You guys have been trading finishes off of each other, it seems like, but this one might be a big chunk out of that points lead that was not so massive to begin with. So it'll be interesting to see where it all settles out after tonight's race. But we got a few more races in the regular season. We go to Bristol next. What are your thoughts on going out there?
Bristol's a tough track. I've never got myself good there. I struggle at Bristol and Darlington. I mean, I've won races there, but Bristol's just frustrating. You never know if it's going to be the top or the bottom. I don't even know if it's dirt or not, but dirt's one thing, asphalt's another, or concrete's another, whatever Bristol is. So you just need to keep your nose clean at a track like that. Similar to how tonight was a survival race, Bristol will probably be the same.
Yeah, just a completely different form of survival. But
Yep.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one. We do have next week off, so you get a little break to think about your approach to that one. But a 3rd place finish, man, consistency with the podiums and strong runs. You started 10th. You lead 3 laps here tonight on your way to 3rd. Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Mainly Jeremy Miller, because we got hooked up there and we were pretty fast. We were always fast at these super speedways, and he's a good pusher, and I'm a good leader in the pack. So we were 2 people running out away from 1-2, so that would have been funny. Halperin got 9th. He kind of got pushed out of the pack himself, and he couldn't recover. And Yusuf kind of got caught up in whatever that green flag incident was in the first stage. So we all were fast. We had a chance to. We wanted to kind of control the race, but we just never really got the opportunity to. But we still got 3rd and 4th, me and Jeremy. So it was pretty cool, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely strong run to continue to build momentum here in the regular season. So congrats on that finish, and we'll catch you in a couple weeks at Bristol.
10-4. See you there, Adam.
Thank you. That was Connor Horn, 3rd place finisher here tonight. Another podium finish for the driver of the 67, who continues to close the gap to the points leader, AJ Stravato. Let's take a look at the rest of the results for tonight's race at iRacing Superspeedway. And a quick recap. 20 lead changes, only the 1 stage caution. Great race by these guys tonight. And Greg Wellen comes out on top after starting 17th. Great run by him. His first victory here in the league. Jeremiah Vincent, a close 2nd, not quite close enough. Connor Horn pulling Jeremy Miller with him. They finished 3rd and 4th. Taylor Butcher Benjamin comes home in the 5th position. Garrett Kite finishes 6th. Elliot Butler finishes 7th. Adam Cabot 8th. 9th was Zach Halpern, earning some points tonight. And Joe Stafford finishes in the 10th spot. In 11th, it was Angelo Ronas, 12th. AJ Stravato, 13th, was the number 70 machine of Lyle Sulfridge. 14th was Jeff Wright. 15th, Safe Ferris. 16th, Alec Martinez. 17th, Lane Sulfridge. 18th was Keith Maotto. 19th, Bailey Turner. And rounding out the top 20 tonight's race, Mark Emerson. And rounding out the field here this evening, Yusuf Ghali in that 21st position. So only 21 cars tonight, but no cautions for wrecks. We did have a couple small incidents, but nothing too crazy to bring out the yellow flag. We want to thank you so much for tuning into tonight's race here at iRacing Superspeedway with the Virtual Racing League. We'll be back tomorrow night with the Below the Double Yellow Cup Series from Talladega Superspeedway. So more Superspeedway action for your viewing pleasure. And we'll have next Wednesday off, but we'll also be back next Thursday with the Below the Yellow Cup Series, Below the Double Yellow Cup Series season finale at Phoenix in that one. So tomorrow's race is going to be to determine the top 4 going into the championship finale, and then next Thursday is going to be the championship finale itself. So you won't want to miss either of those races. The next 2 coming up. You can check us out at all these different social media outlets to stay up to speed with what we're doing here at VSpeed. And as always, you can check us out at vspeedsim.com to see all of our different offerings and services. Thank you so much for tuning in, and have a great night.